Mr. Barton, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Ryochi, good to see you.
Good to see you. Let's talk briefly what got you into the entertainment industry.
It's what I've always wanted to do. I mean, I actually started out wanting to be a drama teacher in the schools, and that was going to be that's what I went to college for, and I really thought I thought that was the limit. I thought that's what I could accomplish with where I was in life, but there was technology just sort of surpassed
Hmm.
it created a dream for me that I never had because suddenly. Um, I was in the theater for the longest time too. And in the 90s and early 2000s, that was where it's at. That's where you could be really expressive and really do your own thing. I mean, this was where I had my own company. I was doing my own shows that I had written. I was really like, that was the best venue at the time. But, cameras were so expensive, nobody could really work with them and the quality wasn't there. So then space was very affordable,
Hmm.
so you'd get a space and you'd put up I put theaters into very unlikely places, like really weird, different kinds of venues and buildings that could never normally, school spaces and public spaces where there'd never been a show there before. And then, yeah, suddenly cameras were a lot more affordable and space was really expensive. And then now it's kind of getting to here where it's like you can afford a space and you can afford a camera. Yeah, and I work with this is the best part. I work with so many of the same people and so many people from those same backgrounds that I really feel like I've found my spot. And so I will say this is that I've dreamed of doing this since I was born. I mean, I can't remember a time where I didn't want to be an actor. And what I've found over the years, though, and it's 30 years I've been at it now, as a professional, and God, that sounds like a lot, but I still feel like I'm starting out. I really do. It's so funny, but yeah, it's the dream is just as good as I thought it would be. The business is just as
Hmm.
amazing as I dreamed it would be when I was very young. So it's a great industry to work in, man.
It's amazing to hear that. Everybody has a dream. Everybody wants to pursue their dream. Everybody wants to pursue their goal. And it's very important. I don't want to say I think. Think is not in this. It
Yeah.
is. This
Yeah.
is your dream, you go for it. And
Yeah.
that's important. I tell anybody if this is your dream to be in the entertainment industry, you want to be a film director, a producer, an actor, a singer, a model, film set crew, a lighting crew. Don't be discouraged. Go for it. Follow your dreams. And
Yeah,
also,
man.
you know, each state has their own film industry. It's
Hmm.
growing. It's growing. And that's the one thing I love. It really is because that's where you can get your connections, make some friends, go, get on Instagram, like you said, and then,
Yeah.
way to connect. And that's the one thing I love because, it's everybody asked me one time, what's your dream? And I had to really think about that. I said,
Yeah.
what do you mean? And they said, no, seriously, what is your dream in 5 years? And I had to sit there and think and said, well, this is what I want to do. And they said, okay, you see the door in front of you. And I said, yes. You open that door, it takes you to another room. Yes, okay, I see. So imagining you're opening a door and you're going to another dimension. I said, what do you mean? And I said, okay, let's
It's a
walk
whole
to the
nother
door.
life. That's the life
Right.
you're going to be
And
leading.
they
That is
said,
the,
just
it's,
just
yeah.
just open that door and go in. And I said, okay.
Well,
And then you open that door and you keep opening the door and you say, okay, tell yourself, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I said, wow. And I tell everybody this, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Just keep opening the door. It's another dimension. And and it's like that is powerful. It gives anybody a chills. You could tell yourself, okay, in 6 months, I'm opening this door. Where do you see yourself in 6 months? It doesn't have to be 6 months, it can be 2 months, 3 months, right? But it's a dream. And so that's why I was like, I getting so inspired hearing your story, everybody else's story. What gets inspired? What is it? Why? This is it. This is what we want to do.
I can't do anything else, man. I have an undying
Amen.
need
There you
inside of me.
go.
Like I can't, and this is the way I interact with the world too, is what I've now kind of
Hmm.
realized is that so many of my friendships and relationships are based upon I don't know, connections I made through media somehow. But also I've found this joy now that I'm a dad and I have kids and teenage kids. I can't believe it. But I've also had the joy of actually being able to audition and work on commercials and films with my own children and having being able to do the thing I love with the people I love the most. And then but also the whole thing. It's not just your own family. When you realize that we're not in this business to like knock down another person to get into the spot, to take that
Right
spot.
there.
When you realize, no, 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 if you're doing that, you're fighting over that's not even your spot that you're fighting over. You're fighting that person for their spot. And you didn't even bother to like carve out. All we want is like a building. Imagine the building that's in the backdrop of where you are. Okay. And that tall building, it's a fantastic hotel. Let's imagine that show business is that big hotel. Okay. All you want is your own room in it. And that doesn't mean you like bumped somebody, or that doesn't mean you like snuck into somebody else's room like you weirdo. Like, no, you have your own little spot. It may not be the penthouse, but you're in the building, man. And you go up and down that elevator and up and down those stairs and you interact with those same people. I swear, you're right. You go from being in the state you're in, which could be Oklahoma or Michigan, where I live. I'm based in Michigan, but I have worked in LA and I've worked in Pittsburgh and I've worked in Atlanta and I've worked in Chicago. And I will continue to use this as my base because I'm here. This is my heart, my family, my
Amen.
place. But yet, I know when my kids are grown, I'll give it a shot. I'll be out. I'll maybe, I keep thinking your 5-year plan that you were talking about. Yeah, when I think 5 years ahead, maybe I will be branching out more. But until then, it's almost like it's almost like my real life is what's the necessary component in
Hmm.
to make showbiz into
Interesting.
anything at all. I don't think that
Hmm.
I'd be if I was an inauthentic, unreal person who didn't have a full life, and I have a full life, man. And so I guess that I always have the life versus the art, and I have the two things to check each other against. So that because I can't do a thing if it's half-hearted. I can't perform it. It's gonna be really hard for me. So my process is to work it up no matter what it is, some dumb commercial or something like that, even to work up the right amount of energy for it. Uh that's the art. But I think an actor who's been at it for long enough they you can see some life in their face. You can see some experience behind them.
Hmm.
And their backstory is almost as interesting as the character's backstory. If you look at certain
Interesting.
actors, it's they well and old as you get older. So when you're a younger actor, you don't have that. You're just you're cute, but you're inexperienced. Like a younger actor is just starting out and they don't have so what the actor should focus on, I think, at that point is just getting their voice strong and getting their body strong and responsive and ready for the task of acting. And the emotional, psychological side of it, don't get too bogged down in that. Like really, really think about how you can get into this business, find your spot working at what you're
Hmm.
good at, not always what you love. Sometimes you got it because I'm an actor. I'm not an actor first and foremost. I came by acting kind of roundabout. I didn't start out saying this is the dream. It became part of the dream. But acting is only an extension of me as my artist's life.
Right.
Acting is where I'm at right now too. Like I may not always be doing it. Maybe I'm gonna have become a. Maybe I'll just write books one day, or
Hmm.
seriously, I'll always be a part of it though.
Right.
It'll always be a part of me. And the
Wow.
dream, man, if you do dream like you're talking about, but it's not dreams, it's because it's plans. It's not,
Amen. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, you didn't dream it because you can dream anything and anybody can be a genius in their dreams. It's just like, I got this great idea. And you know people like that. They're always just like, dude, this next thing is gonna be dope. And I'm like I got this plan and I got it. I'm almost there. But you can tell like, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
If you
Sometimes they
have a
come through.
dream, you have to go for it.
But you have to plan it. You have to understand
Yes.
what the component parts are
Yes.
to make the vision happen. So whatever it is,
Hmm.
you have to assemble it very carefully, and that's the time that you put in. But if you put the
Yes.
time and the detailed time into it, it will
Grow.
it will show. Yeah, it will
Yes.
definitely show.
By the way, real quick, I just gotta shout this out there. I love your hair.
Oh, thanks.
It kind of
Thanks.
no. I'm sorry, it's a little off topic. It kind of reminds me. I know it's kind of weird. Old Sherlock Holmes. The
Mm,
you're wearing your glasses and you're the Sherlock Holmes partner. You have the
yeah.
beard. Sorry, I just had to put that out
Well, I
there.
got this look going right now, and I'm working on this period drama. That is my next project. Is
Hmm.
this? It's a period drama time travel series for the very very small screen. So it's going to be you'll be able. It's called Time Away, and
Okay.
it's about like time travel in the late 1800s after the
Hmm.
Civil War, and it's very funny and romantic, and it's of another time. It's a comedy. It's lighthearted, but it also deals with some very real things. But I'm
Hmm.
playing this villainous uh just rich like just a real sleazy kind of guy who's real duplicitous. So I grew a mustache. Okay. I don't normally wear a mustache. Usually I'll have a beard or I'll be clean shaven, but not this thing in between. But it's really funny. Like I since I grew the mustache for this role, other people have noticed it and they've seen me for things. And so this mustache actually opened me up to some different kinds of characters that I wouldn't have normally been called in for. And so it's funny, this morning I was leaving for an audition. I got a call back. It's cool. I was leaving for a commercial audition this morning, and I was dropping my daughter off at camp, and I come in my suit and everything. She's like, "Wow, a suit." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to go rent out the mustache." That's the way I call. That's what I call acting jobs like that. I'm just renting out the mustache for a while. Obviously, these people want this certain look for now, but then I'm going to change my look. And I, as an actor, I that's an easy thing I can do. I can change my hair and my facial hair, and anybody can do that. And it's one of those easy things that an actor can do because as soon as you are done, I think as soon as you are done with this job, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same job? You have to actually transform yourself and run in the opposite direction. You should. So if I've done this villain, then I have to shave it. I have to look a little younger again. I'm almost 50. But if I shave, I actually look younger, a lot younger than I am right now. It just this ages me to where I look like an old man, and I needed that for the character. And my producer and creative creative partner Jennifer Jelsima said, "You've got to play this role, and it's a mustache role." And I just knew she was right. You know, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to grow my hair, and I'm gonna have to grow this weird sort of cowboy look. Uh, but it's one of those things that I've always felt like once I do this, and once I step into the right shoes and I'm in the right clothes and everything, I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna feel like and then the acting actually comes a little bit more naturally
Hmm.
when you feel a little bit more any physical connections you can make with your character make it easier for you, I guess.
Hmm.
I would say.
Wow. I'm so inspired by everything what you're saying. Really
Thanks,
am.
man.
I want to dig into since you're a father and you got to work with your kids on set. How was it like?
Okay, well, we've only done a little bit of it because we didn't want to I didn't want to get them into being child actors because
Hmm.
I thought that that would be full of rejection and it wouldn't be fun. I wanted them to just like do the plays at school and they do. That's what they do. And I'm the proudest my proudest moment is sitting and watching my children performing and they love to do it and it's a thing that we share and so that's great. So we go to see plays a lot and all that stuff. But then being on set, I've observed some of the other families and things who do this maybe more than we do. And our relationship is sort of like I wanted to protect my children from. the influences on them, especially on girls, to look and sound a certain way. And unfortunately, it's a tragic uh, scenario for people who are if they're going to be if you're going to get your children into this, it better be that because your child wants to so bad
Hmm.
that they're dying. They have the undying desire in there and they'll keep going even if it's disappointing. But if you bring a child in just because if you think that you can say, "Oh my, your son is so he's so right for this," unless that child has a real desire to be in front of a camera and to actually do that, they will not fit in that scenario and it will not be a good time and it will not be a good performance. So I would say that if you are young and you wanted to get into this business as a young person, I think that you'll if you just do the plays at school and you go and you in the summers you go to like a kick-ass like performing arts camp. And maybe you're not at the best like performing arts school, but you like really, really put the time in all the time to your voice and you get good at dancing and you get good at, you play a lot of different kinds of things and you go seek it out and you make your own stuff. My many of my students who I coached as in acting I wound up coaching as they were making their own first films.
Hmm.
So they were learning early on, you got to originate some stuff too. It's not just that you're out there finding work. You must originate and you must differentiate yourself that way because otherwise you're just somebody among many. But if you have released a short film or a thing, then people can look at that and they can see what you really, really do. And based on that, it is based on that brilliant short film that will get you into the next thing. But it won't be just you standing there and doing everything right and singing it right. And even though you have to be very good technically, but it won't be until you've differentiated your and shown your uniqueness. And this is the real secret of
Hmm.
success as an actor is that you actually have to be the most unique actor you can be. It's not that you fit into a mold or a type. You actually have to be the most unique version of
Hmm.
yourself that you possibly can be. And if you do that, if you accomplish that, then you did it on your own terms because I spent too long like trying to be what they wanted me to be as a professional actor. For my success, I thought that was based on me fitting a type. So I think I spent too many years not being myself and now I'm paying for that because now it's like man, it feels like I'm reinventing myself and trying to but I was always typed into certain characters, but I
Hmm.
never got to play the psycho. No, I did. I got to play some psychos, but I mainly I was playing dads, doctors, lawyers, and I wanted to break out and be unstable. I wanted to break out and be I wanted to get into the middle of it. I didn't want to be off to the side providing the support. I wanted to
Right.
actually be in the center of it. But a lot of times I was a support player in this business. And those have been some of the most interesting jobs, is being a helper to the lead actor on the day of. And that's one of the things that we do. We
Hmm.
really do um, help one another. We don't, like I said, it's not competitive. We don't shove each other out of the way to be successful or to get the focus onto ourselves. We actually succeed by giving the focus to someone else,
Hmm.
by focusing upon the other actor. And somehow all the acting stuff that you're doing emotionally connects because the connection you have with them is something that the audience can feel. And we all know when we see that, and we know what it looks like when it's not there. It's painful. So there's a difference between the way that acting seems to be when you watch it and then when the way it actually is to do it.
Hmm.
And so I hope that people will wait to try to break into the industry until they're a little bit older and they've had a little more experience and they because if they go if they want to move to LA right this second and throw themselves into that mix, I'm afraid that they won't be able to experience the really good sides of the business and the art. They'll just never experience the art of it. And without the art, I don't think we would do it. You can't sustain yourself just wanting to be in the
Right.
business. You actually have to have some desire in the middle of it
Hmm.
that is creative and unique to you. And everybody's really deep down got a creative fantasy. And it's out of that that will sustain you in dark times. You still remember 5 years from now, man, I'm going to be making my feature, and so these steps that I'm taking now, the road to that feature is going to be paved with my effort right now. It's going to be me just step by step, day by day. But the dream of being discovered, that is so unusual and rare that it's not that. It's that you discovered yourself. You discovered who you are, and you discovered what
Amen.
you want. And if you can get yourself into a space where you're like, I really love what I'm doing. I really love the people around me. And I really, really, I believe in what I'm doing. Then even when this business slows down and goes quiet, and you may go for a while not working, you still have the desire and you stay sharp with it. Your desire keeps you sustained throughout this entire process. It's the desire and it's these relationships. It's got to
I
be.
like it. I like it. Everything you just said, creativity, unique, be yourself. Also, it's not a competition.
No.
We're not, tongue twisting. We're not against each other. We're supporting each other.
Yeah.
100%. Everything you're saying is powerful. It really is the truth. And it's everything, we should talk about, being in the entertainment industry, and it's not easy beasy. It's you have to have a tough skin.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. It doesn't matter what age you are. You gotta have a tough skin. And it's fun. As storytelling you said, we are telling people stories,
Mm-hmm.
true stories.
We're inhabiting the stories. So this is
Yes.
my thing about storytelling. Like I work for the storytellers usually. As an actor, I'm part of like a writer's story, but the writer begins it, I finish it. So I talk to my students about this. I'm like, you are the story beings. You're the one in the center of it. You're right in the middle of it. Now you do create, an actor actually has to create the whole backstory and the next story too. I think that you should know where you come from, but also and where you are now in this scene, in this present moment. And then also you can imagine your character further down. It's like, no, eventually he's gonna be all right. He's gonna have some ups and downs, but he's gonna quit drinking eventually, and he's gonna straighten it out. He's gonna settle down and connect with people again. Like, but at this moment he's in turmoil. But look
Hmm.
where he started. And so an actor has to have a very wild imagination and a lot of experience to draw from so that if you're creating a character and you have a very limited time to do it, you got the audition. So what I would do is you got the audition and it's only hours away, and that sometimes hits you. That will happen more often than not. You're not going
Hmm.
to get advance notice, and you're going to have to go at the drop of a hat. And that in itself is a skill. The
Yeah.
versatility and adaptability that you have to have for that, and you have to do it quick. So you build a character in the limited time that you have. You build as much of a character as you can, but you also inhabit the character by physically doing all the things that they do. So
Hmm.
um, whatever it is that you find that they now that may mean you are um chopping down trees or things that I've done in the past are like I use a sledgehammer. I had some characters that were really
Hmm.
physical and I had to
Right.
inhabit this kind of physical aggressive kind of energy. And not aggressive towards other actors. It's just when I come on the stage, I had to come running on and I had to be like forward with my energy. So
Hmm.
I was throwing knives and I was using a sledgehammer and I was like just and as I was going, I was saying my lines along the way. I was speaking Shakespeare, just like, I'm just doing I'm saying the lines as my body's fully engaged. And that's when everything started to line up. Then when I went to rehearse, I didn't have to use a sledgehammer in a rehearsal, but I had built up this practice so that when I did arrive there, I'm in the body of the character. And then my instincts and the character's instincts are this. I'm not fighting against them anymore. They really are you I lent them my body essentially. I kind of like let them in and they're controlling me, but I'm also staying as healthy as I can and sustaining myself because you have to do this for weeks. You got to do this for weeks or months. So how are you gonna be sustainable enough to be spontaneous and wild?
Hmm.
The truth is, people have talked about, they've mythologized like Heath Ledger's Joker, and they're like he was so immersed in all this stuff. But I've also heard that no, he was really concentrated and he stayed in the voice of the character a lot, but he was not the crazed evil Joker. He just so that's a distinction that the method thing, which is where people stay in character, and I don't recommend that. Like, but there's a difference, and I've seen this. Like, I did the movie Detroit with Will Poulter, and Will Poulter's this great actor that I really, really admire, and he's doing great now, and I'm really, really happy for him because he is phenomenal. British actor, but he showed up with this American accent, and I was like confused all day because he stayed in this American accent the whole time, and I was like, I thought he was a Brit. He totally faked me out all day, and I'm like, whoa. So instead of staying in the character, he stayed in the voice of the character all day, and that's what kept him focused. And when I look back on that, I'm like, that's sharp. That is something I can take and
Right.
use. So like instead of, and isn't that subtle? Isn't that just like that's like
That is amazing.
it's great acting.
It
So
is.
Will
It
Poulter,
is.
man,
Will
shout
Poulter,
out that guy.
amazing.
Follow him. It's like success found the right guy. Like he has this great look about him. He's really grim looking, but uh, but you get to know him. He's super nice and like super just generous. I mean, and he wanted to spend time around the Michigan actors. I think maybe he was working on the accent. Maybe he was soaking up a few of the things that we were saying. But he really is a cool guy, and he really listened, and he has been outspoken about like not being a method actor. And I really appreciate that he's speaking up and saying you can be a great actor, but not be difficult with your process. I think that an actor who's struggling is the one who's going to be playing all kinds of mind games. He's struggling. Whereas the actor who's really prepared, it's a smoother process that you see with them. So acting is
Right.
instinct, but it's a lot of preparation and technique. You prepare so that you become spontaneous. And that's actually one of the, isn't that weird?
It is weird. It's weird.
Like it makes no sense, but you
It is
prepare.
does not make sense to me.
Yeah. But the energy of acting is always feeling very, it should
Hmm.
always feel like you're improvising, you're making it happen right then and there. Like it's in the present moment. And but you're not, that's the struggle to remain in there because you're surrounded by distractions. So of the technical stuff, so the best thing you can do, the focus you can put on it is on the other person and just staying with that objective. That
Amen.
that'll keep you.
That's very true.
That's
Very true.
cool.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you this. And what was the most pivoted moment in your life? Well, correction, your acting career. Sorry.
Um it happened more recently, okay? Because I've had a lot of inspiring experiences that got me to a certain point. But then I was playing Romeo. I was called in very late to be in a production to replace an actor mid-run of Romeo and Juliet at there's a big festival here in Michigan called Shakespeare Royal Oak, and it's one of the biggest Shakespeare theaters, summer outdoor theater festivals in the Midwest. It's one of the biggest.
Hmm.
And they're great. And I've been with that company for a long time, and I directed plays with them, and I'd been on stage a couple of times. But I didn't. I had to they had a actor was out with COVID, and I had to go in and replace
Hmm.
at the last minute with 4 days only, 4 days alone to get this all
Wow.
done. So I developed this like uh very concentrated physical regimen of I wake up in the morning and I do a workout first thing, 5 minute
Okay.
workout first thing in the morning before I eat breakfast, and then I as I'm eating the as I'm eating, I'm going through all my material and I go through all of it from beginning to end, and I work on the specific sections, even the speeches I have to work on even harder. But then I go and I work out and I get in the body of the character. And he was a brutal man. I was playing Juliet's father. And then with 4 days only, then I did that every day, and then I had one rehearsal, and then I go on. So I was so in the moment that and I went on to do these shows with almost no rehearsal at all, and like so it was all fresh. Everything around me, all the people, all the interactions, I really was meeting them for the first time. Every when I go on stage and I'm like seeing Romeo for the first time and we're in masks at the ball. I don't know who he is. Like and then I went through and I had an emotional like explosion in the middle of it. That was the realest thing I've ever felt in my life. Where Juliet has died and I don't, there's that whole plot of she took poison, it puts her into a coma for like 48 hours and she'll wake up again. But I think she's dead. And this is my worst fear. As I said, as a father, this is the worst fear that you'd walk in and your child has this is and so I didn't know what was about to happen to me, but I wept as I carried her down the stairs and I laid her down on this. So we went into this funeral scene and I I howled with tears. I don't know what came over me, but I was inside out. And I was like, I had gloves on and I was like screaming into my glove. I was just like screaming and howling. It was, but then my scene partner, my lady Capulet, led me off stage. I asked her to just take me with you when you go, because I won't know. I'm going to be a little bit lost. So we're walking arm in arm, and then I'm like, "Thank you very much, thank you. I'm going to come back to myself all of a sudden." And I walked for about a minute, just walk, and just kind of reabsorb, come back to myself again, because I got another scene to do, and I got to come back
Hmm.
to the beginning. And so just a couple of years ago, this happened. It was the first time I'd acted since before the pandemic, and I was really thrown into the deep end of the pool here. And like so having had that experience, I felt like I'm like a different actor than before. I have a different set of instincts. I,
Hmm.
I have a different set of preparations, and now I like acting. I love acting more than I ever have.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
And I treat it differently. I treat it almost like if I get a chance to actually play a real character in something, I treat it almost like it's holy. I treat it almost like it's sacred.
Very powerful, very powerful, very powerful.
Well, thanks for letting me tell you that because like it was profound.
Well,
It, it
um, yeah, that is amazing. That's amazing. Um,
Thank you.
I love hearing that story. I
But
really do.
thank you. I mean, I loved discovering acting again through my first love, which was Shakespeare. Shakespeare really was one of the first biggest. It's a thing. I've been with that writer almost like all my life, ever since I was a teenager and I
Well,
started reading.
Shakespeare impacts a lot of people.
I think it's a basis for a lot of, if you do study it and you do work with it, even if you don't get a chance to perform it, if you do a monologue or you prepare a character for
Hmm.
fun, it'll transform you into a different kind of actor. And it's been that way I love teaching it because of the experience that comes over people and even young children. I taught it to kids in school, like school age, and some of them were like kindergarten age. And
Amazing.
I found that it was an experiment, but I'm like, can they say it? Can they pick it up and do it? Yes. And and so my actors whom I taught in Shakespeare classes, they would come in with one, like maybe they'd read a little bit in the past, but they'd never done it. None of them. And so they came in having only done some other kinds of acting classes, and the characters are just very deep. The characters are really brilliant. He's not just a poetic genius, he's a dramatic writer of the greatest, of the highest quality. And so you, and what's beautiful about it is that I started out wanting to be a Romeo, and now I'm playing Juliet's dad. And like actually, the other roles that are now available to me are actually the most interesting. And
Wow.
that's true also with throughout the whole industry now, is that now I'm actually coming into the a more interesting
Hmm.
level, and I didn't realize that. I thought that all the excitement was sort of caught up in one part of the cycle, but it's
Right.
actually as the story goes on, there are these other. So now I'm excited about characters. I wanted to be a movie star type at one point. I saw what Brad Pitt was doing and I saw what Leo DiCaprio was doing. And I mean, those guys are only a little bit older than me. We're around, I mean, so I was watching their careers all throughout and I'm like, wow. Like I want what they have. I'm not going to do it like they do it or anything. I'm not. I
Right.
think that that's a mistake actors make is like emulating or imitating their favorite actors.
100%. 100%.
You shouldn't do that. You need to be yourself because
Yep.
there's
Be
already a
yourself.
Brad Pitt. Yeah,
Be yourself. 100%. I
yeah.
totally
You need
agree.
to. But who is that? You need to spend some time, and it takes a long, long time to
Hmm.
the trial and error of discovering, not being discovered, but discovering who you are.
Right.
That's the
100%.
discovery.
100%. 100%. Mr. Barton, where can people find you?
Please follow me down on Instagram. Barton Bund Returns is over there, and I like to give a few live sessions about acting, and I occasionally do this. I'll have somebody on to interview, and I'll talk to other actors and other people, and I'll have this series coming up, Time Away, which
Wow.
is shooting this fall, and we're going to be putting out and releasing it. To Instagram into this format because I really believe that I don't know about you, but Instagram to me has tremendous potential to
Well, here's
be,
what I look at Instagram. Um, Instagram has a high potential. I really do.
yeah.
You has it has so much connections. I will say this. It's so much better than Facebook. I am
It's almost like the HBO. It's like a
yes.
premium channel compared
Hmm.
to other
And
social video.
that's all I gotta leave it. Instagram is legit.
Yeah.
Um, and I could be wrong. I think eventually it will take over YouTube. Now, what am I meaning that is by this? Meaning, hopefully they'll be able to let you put your videos longer on the reel,
Yeah.
longer videos on reels. Correction, it probably won't take over YouTube. Just kidding. But it's
What do you think though? I think that that's valid. I think that
I
it
think it's
has a
valid.
social
Only thing
capability.
that's gonna hurt Instagram is YouTube still has a lot of features that Instagram is not there yet.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but I will,
Instagram has the sociability, the
yes. Now the
sociality of
one
it.
thing
Yeah.
is, what I will say about Instagram is a lot of like famous people, non-famous people, authors, sports athletes. I'm just gonna put this out there. Any political parties on there, anybody that's on there. Instagram is it. Um, you know, and it's a great way of connection for the entertainment industry. If you're in sports, it's a great way to meet your sports. It's great to meet, and I'm gonna put this out there again. Political. If you're in political, great way to
Yeah.
connect with two parties. Great way to be in sports, broadcasting, whatever. F1 Formula race or NASCAR race, anything like that. You can look it up. It's all
It's like a
there.
technology that can be so versatile
Hmm.
that you can make anything you
And then
want
one
out of
thing I
it.
want to say about Instagram real quick is if you put places, let's put Los Angeles, and there's a list of a lot of things on Los Angeles. You can say places, and you're like, wow, I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was here. That's the one thing about it, about Instagram, and going live as well is amazing. Reels,
It's
also
the connections, man. You're totally,
in
totally right.
Instagram, I
Yeah,
personally believe it somehow when you watch Reels, when I do this, you get on Reels, and you see things that's not even connected to the entertainment industry. You see something like, oh, sports, okay, bam, oh, what's this, bam. But that's the thing about Reels. It connects to other people who may not be interested, but they're like, oh. Let me
I
see
think
what
I
this
think
is.
it's changing the way that it's changing what we consider
Mm-hmm.
entertainment itself. Like the way that we think about entertainment is and so I actually with my series like I want to do a couple of things with Instagram. I want to do what you're doing, which is like the talk format, and it's not podcast. I'm not going to call it a podcast because
It's
that's a
okay if you
very
do.
old word. Instead, I have it's a social it's social video, it's social series, it's a social information system. There's no other word for it.
Yes.
I'm looking into this whole idea. This is cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the social information system. And it's an open communication and open collaborative approach to getting information out there. And when it comes
Amen.
to the environment,
One
it's
day, if you,
really important.
I would love to join your Instagram live one day. One day, I
Let's
would
do
love
it. We
to.
will. Yeah, we'll let that will
Yes,
be our next. We
and
will as soon as this show is coming out, as soon as this one comes out, we'll do one right following because I think
yes,
what
let
you're
me know.
and
Message
let's
me.
philosophize. Let's do it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that and we'll come up with our subject because I want to talk about media, the future, your vision, the things that let's talk more in depth about the art. I think that that's
You already know my vision, Mr. Barton.
yeah.
Um, I leave it with this. I am so passionate what I do. I love what I'm doing. I really do. And hearing everybody's stories, especially you's and young actors, 6 years old all the way to adults. And this has been my passion. This is my dream, and I'm working. And it just it's just you know the art. It's been I started this before the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I'm not ashamed to talk about this. I thought about quitting during the pandemic. I really thought was. I was like, man, should I really
This is a
quit
great
this?
format for the times like those, though.
Yeah,
I'm sure that that actually was kind of the right
and then I kept
format.
going. Here I
Yeah.
am. So
Dude, you're doing something really good. I really, really like your show very much, and you're cool to talk to. And while I was talking to you, I was a little surprised that I'm saying some of these things even, but I feel I like your format, so I
well,
just
that's
wish
what
you the best with it.
to be honest, that's what my show is about. To bring what you set out.
Hmm.
I try to be quiet as long as I can, to be honest,
I know what
because
you mean.
I want the audience to hear what the guest has to say. And I will say this, this is not about me. It's not. And it's about you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody out there, it's you guys that's bringing your audience, your future guests, future actors that want to come on my show. It's them. Yes, people are like, Ryochi, you're doing amazing. And it means a lot to me. It
You're
really
doing
does.
amazing. You
But
are. Yeah.
in reality, in reality, if no guest, I'm going to say this, no guest came on my show, it's not about me. And it's really not. It's really not about me. It's about my guest and their story.
It's very compassionate the way that you're approaching that. And maybe that's a feature of like the times we're in too, that like you're responding to, I think, a need that we all have to reach out and connect again.
Hmm.
And we find a
It's
new way
not
of
about
reaching
me.
out. No, it's
It's
not,
not.
man.
And if I ever, and I'm going to say anyways, if I ever had my own talk show on the stage, I
Hmm.
would say it live on TV. It's not about me. It's
Dude,
about
and
the
acting,
audience.
that's the acting experience too, is that it is always actually the answer to acting, the answer to the challenge of acting was always in the other person. It was in their eyes.
Hmm.
And when I've really connected and we've really, really put the feeling behind something, and we've really, really created something together, that you're it's the magical, like miraculous, amazing thing that can happen. And it happens in moments where something real actually is just born in front of your
Amen.
eyes. And it's like it's the most beautiful art form for that
Yes.
reason. But you get that on this show too because you have like these discoveries that are everywhere. So
Yeah.
you helped me today too. Like I was like, Wow. I hadn't thought of it that way before, but now it helps me think of it that way. And this is a good thing you're doing, and
I,
you have a
you
good
know,
way about it.
I really do appreciate it. It means the bottom of my heart because I love what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. So, like I said, Mr. Barton, I would love to have you back on as my guest.
Let's do this again anytime, and then as soon as you want, let's connect and let's do
Yes,
the other
yes,
thing. Let's do a
I would
live
love.
session on Instagram, and we can be maybe more free form in that format too.
Yes, yes, I would love
And you
to.
can go
I would love
go an
to.
hour or do whatever you want. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that would be let's we're locked in. We're saying it now, so we're locking it
yeah,
in. I mean, obviously we're gonna
we
have to
are
do it.
locked in.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just like we're saying it because we're recording right now, so we're a bit locked in. So yes, man, we will do
No,
that.
we
So
are.
this
We're
conversation will
100%.
continue on.
We are
You're
100% in. And like I said, Mr. Barton, I would love to have you back.
thanks, my friend.
Love to have you back on. So we'll stay in touch, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
All right, Ryoshi, you got a great thing going. Thanks, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
your time.
thank you, thank
See
you.
you
It
soon.
really means a lot. Thank
Me
you.
too.
We'll stay in
Thank you.
touch, and I'll have you back on soon.
I'll see you then.
All right, bye.
See ya.